Hi guys, this is Manny from Manny Styles Barbershop, IC Fades, and this is my new podcast. I would like to talk to you guys about a lot of things. I would like to invite a lot of people to my show. It's just a new show. I would like to tell you guys a little bit of me, a little bit of the things I've been going through, how hard it was to get my barbershop. Uh, just a plain little podcast, but I would like to speak a lot about things that I like to do, all the styles that I like to have. Um, People don't know exactly who I am. And I would like to really speak about myself more than anything before I invite people here, before I even do anything with my show. I would like to speak about me. And yeah, this started a very long time ago here in Milwaukee. Uh, I was cutting hair since I was a little kid. I remember my mom used to cut hair, and all I did was watch my mom. Well, I was a little kid. I used to see her cutting her own hair in the bathroom while she was going to school for cutting hair. Uh, but back in the days was different. With women, they do nails, hair, different types of things. And I remember she came home with a trophy because she did some. It was like a fake hand, and she put nails on it and did designs on the nails and stuff. And then it was like some type of tournament she was in. And yeah, it worked out really nice. She won, like, I think it was like second place. But yeah, she kept like cutting hair, and my mom has a sister that also cuts hair, and somehow, some way, all I used to hear in my family was nothing but haircuts when I was a little kid. Everything I used to hear about was about hair. My mom used to go to people's homes to cut hair. Uh, my aunt started working at this barbershop called Thassos. Well, my mom used to work there first. This is how it all started. My mom went there, she got hired, she started working a couple days. She loved the job, but somehow, some way, nobody could watch me. It was just me and my mom when I was growing up. It was really hard. My aunt, on the other hand, she had her husband, and she had, you know what I mean, people to watch her kids. So my mom told her, look, we're identical the same. They're like twins. So why don't you just take over my job so I don't look bad? At least go for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Just so I'm very appreciative of the guy that gave me the job. I appreciate the fact that he gave me the job. I would like you to just go for a couple weeks just so he doesn't feel like, I did him bogus, because I only went 3 days and I never went again. And my aunt stayed there for 30 years. And it's crazy because I ended up working there for 13 years. But yeah, it's a long story. When I was a little kid, my mom had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend used to have a nephew that worked at a barbershop. And he lived with us for a whole year. And he would come over every night because he lived with us for a year, and he shared rooms with me. We had bunk beds. And this guy is probably, I can say I was like 12. He was maybe 22, 23, about 11 years older than me. But I looked up to this guy. It was like I was so bored in my life, and then all of a sudden this guy gets to live with us for a year, and he's a barber. And he was so humble with it, and he would come home every day, and he was really close to me. He would speak so much about haircuts every day. And then on top of that, he introduced me to friends of his that were barbers. And when he left, because he only was here for a year, I ended up going and having a nice friendship with these barbers that he was working with and having friendship with. And I learned a lot. I'm talking about, this was maybe a lot of years ago. I was 12 years old. I'm 39 years old now. So yeah, it was something that I started doing a long time ago. But yeah, I remember I kept doing it after he left. He used to always do my hair, and now I can't find someone to do the hair the way he does it. So I started doing my own hair, and I messed it up a couple times. You know, it didn't look. I mean, it looked good, but it didn't look like I wanted it to look. And I think for me being 12 years old, I was pretty good. All the neighbors and all the people in the neighborhood were coming to my house, knocking on my door for haircuts. But it all started when I was cutting my cousin's hair in the yard, and one of the neighbors seen me. The lady that lived across the street had 10 kids. 6 were hers and 4 were her sisters. Something happened with her sister where she took care of the kids. And she told me, look, Manny, at this time, the barbershop is charging me $10 a kid. If there's any way you can make it a little better, I will stay with you because I seen how you were cutting hair in the yard and you were doing a really good job. So here I go and say, yeah, dude, I'm so happy I finally got, you know what I mean, a customer that came up to me. I was doing it for fun, playing around when I was a kid. And this lady comes and says, look, I have 10 kids. Every first of the month, that's your job to cut their hair. So yeah, it was amazing. I was learning a lot with cutting these kids' hair. There was 10 of them. They had different textures, different styles, different things, and it taught me a lot. But little did you know, I started cutting other neighbors, and I started going to school and telling friends in school that I cut hair. It ended up being, without me knowing it, I ended up being this little kid that was a barber. You know, that everybody knew he was a barber. I wasn't the best at it yet, but I was really good with what I learned with you know my family members and people I knew. I think it was pretty good. Uh, but it got me to the level where I was like 17 years old. I think I remember. And wait up, I think I'm skipping something. Uh, Before this, that one guy that taught me things that lived with me, his friend, his best friend that was a barber. Me and him got really close when he left, and I started going over there for haircuts to his house. And I learned a lot from that guy. It was amazing. His name was Hosian. I never seen him again. It was crazy. One day he said, I'll be back. And he left to Puerto Rico and he never came back. But yeah, it was a good experience. He taught me a lot about low fades, tapers, way back in the day when like no barbershops were around. I'm talking about there was no shops out here. The only shop was Tassos and Fashion Impressions, which was later called Paul Mitchell. I mean, as far as you wanting to go get a fade. Then little by little, new styles opened up and other barbershops opened up. But yeah, it wasn't that easy. You had to go to people's homes to get a haircut back in the day. Because if you went anywhere, you don't know where you were going to get. But little by little, I turned 17 years old with all the experience that I have. I start cutting hair out the house. I'm already in high school. I have a lot more experience now. A lot more experience. I'm 17 years old. I started this when I was 12, you know? So I have now a nice little following, but I'm at home still. Uh, One day, I grabbed a bunch of papers and I put my name on them and my phone number. And I go to all my neighbors' houses and I put little slips in the mailboxes. Everyone. So now everyone in the neighborhood starts calling me up. A lot of people probably threw the paper away. I probably did 100 papers. Out of those 100 papers, I probably got maybe 5, 6 people to want to get a haircut. But this is the interesting thing. One of those guys was a family member to a guy that owned a barbershop. And I did his hair. He sees him and he's like, who cut your hair? And he's like, oh, this kid. He was passing out little slips and I just wanted to support him. He was charging $5. He goes, what? He did your hair like that for $5? Where does he live? And he was like, oh, he lives over there, 11th and Burnham. He was like, well, dude, you got to take me over there. So the guy got so happy that his cousin that owned the barbershop told him this. He ran to my house and, hey, bro, I didn't tell you, bro, but my cousin, he owns a barbershop. And he wants you to cut hair for his barbershop. I don't know when he's coming, but he said either today or tomorrow or the next day, he's coming to talk to you. And I'm like, what? I got real happy. I'm talking about this never has happened to me in my life. So I wait about maybe 3 days. I'm cutting hair at 7 o'clock in the morning. There's this guy that used to work at the sheriff's office down in Franklin at the House of Correction. He started work about 8 o'clock in the morning, but every Friday he came to my house for a haircut at 7. So when I was cutting his hair, I hear a knock, boom, 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 and I'm like, dude, it's just crazy. I open the door and it's the guy with that guy that owns the barbershop. His name is Edsel. And I was so happy, dude, that the guy was like, look, man, we own the barbershop. We seen your haircuts. You're pretty good. I don't know if you want to, but if you want to, we have a chair. This guy Negro that used to cut hair, he left. And we have an open chair for you. I was like, what? They were like, yeah, as soon as you're done with the haircut, we'll be waiting outside for you. And it was crazy because this was like one of the best barbershops in town. It was called the Last Barbershop at the time. And I didn't know I'm going to one of the best barbershops. I heard about this barbershop all over, but I really didn't know exactly what was going on. When I got there, I'm talking about these guys are like one of the best in town. So what I knew, and then what I learned from Etzel and David and everyone else that was there teaching me stuff, made me even better at the time. I'm talking about I was there maybe 3 months. I bought a car. Everyone's like, damn, how quick did you do this? And I'm living at my mom with my mom at the time, and everything's going really good. I'm 17 years old. I remember I'm still in high school. Then we start breaking apart after a couple years because it got so packed with barbers. Uh, you know how it is when it gets too packed. We're young. We didn't know how to deal with the situation, but yeah, a lot of things happened where I felt really good there. Everything was going great, but the amount of barbers I used to work inside the barber shop, I knew that eventually I had to move around. I didn't want to, but it forced me to. And I did, and I'm happy I did. I mean, I'm happy I did, and I'm happy I did because I learned a lot. I remember I went to Fausto's Image next. I was there for maybe 5 years. Um, I learned a lot. I learned how to cut with scissors, do designs, all types of different things that I learned. Um, and I'm starting to have a lot more customers now. Things are getting really busy. I'm learning how to do scissors, designs. I get really, really good at it. And I go down to the north side. One of my friends was like, look, I know a guy that owns a barber shop. This is how crazy I was. I was down to cut hair wherever they would invite me to. And at the time, I'm at Fausto's, but I'm like, it's been 5 years. I want to move around. You know what I mean? Don't want to say why, just because. And this guy invites me to the north side. This is crazy. All the way on Fond du Lac, Fade Masters, uh, 35th and Fond du Lac, Fade Masters. This guy, he's like a teacher at AMATC. He's like, this good ass barber. He hires me. I was there maybe a couple months. It drained me having to drive all the way over there and come all the way over here every day. It just drained me so bad that I just had to come back home. But it's crazy. People think that you wouldn't get love away from your home cutting hair. Haircuts is something that it don't matter where you go, where you're at. You can be probably in Africa. People are gonna get their haircuts with you. If you show that you do that, that's what you do for a living. It's crazy, but yeah, it's hard to explain, but it was a long journey. You know, I went to the north side and I'm learning different types of things. Then I come back down here, I start working for Paul Mitchell. This place is this one guy, he got like this big contract from Paul Mitchell and he had like all these millions of dollars because he got contracted by the main guy from, he got sponsored, and his name, Paul Mitchell, was on the shop. He had all his products. It was a nice barbershop, but it's a long story. uh Things that he did backfired, and it just didn't go good. He ended up opening another business and moving on. But yeah, I learned a lot though. And I couldn't tell you how much I learned in that barbershop. But yeah, little by little, I end up working. I know I worked at another place. This has been so long ago. I went through so many places. Uh, but I worked at another shop. I'm trying to think. It was like right here up on 16th and Lincoln. It was a little salon. I was there for maybe a month. It was called Milwaukee Salon, and it ain't there anymore. It's a different salon now. But then after that, I went down to 27th. I went back with the guys that I started with in Bayview, and I went back to 27th Street. I went with them for a little while, catch up on things, things like that. Then I left from there, and that's when I started working at Tasso's hair studio, where my aunt uh, pretty much used to work at. How this happened, the bank comes in and gives the man a letter and says, look, all you guys that work here have 30 days to move out. So I get a little desperate. I'm like, dude, where am I going to go? I don't even want to look for a job. I know I'm talented enough to go anywhere, but the thing was that, it's hard to just move on. So I go by my aunt just to explain to her what happened. And she says, look, the guy that's been here for 30 years, he's leaving. Do you want his chair? And I'm like, I wasn't even expecting this. I went here just to explain to her that I have to go look for a job. And she tells me if I want to work at this place she's been at for 30 years. I've seen this place since I was a kid. I would never imagine I would work here. I start working here, and I end up working there for 13 years. And it was a lot. I want to speak more with other future podcasts, more about the things that I went through in all those barbershops. But I just want to give you guys a short little, you know, like a little thing about me. It ain't going to say everything in one podcast, but I do want to tell you guys a little bit about me. Where did I come from? How did I start? And, you know, now I have this barbershop. So I was there for 13 years. And after a while, I wanted to, be on my own, get my own shop. Things were coming to my mind. My family members were telling me, look, you've been there 13 years. When are you going to, get independent, do things on your own? And I was a little bit like, I don't know everyone that I started cutting hair with already owned a barbershop. I'm the only one that doesn't have a barbershop yet. And I'm like, you know what? It's about that time. And it was the best decision I ever made. It's been 2 years. Manny Styles. It's been a great thing. I remember the first day I started, the barbershop was full of people. It was just so good the way I kept all my customers all these years. And I'm so happy that everyone followed me. That just shows you guys that anything that you do and you're very dedicated to, um, it would always reward you in the long run. So if you guys just take a little chance to figure out what do you guys want to do in life. Sometimes maybe we're lost, but if we dedicate ourselves to just one little thing, just for one whole year, just dedicate yourself to anything you love and you like for one whole year. And I will show you guys that it will reward you. It would start rewarding little by little, but you really got to fully dedicate yourself to it. Yeah, now, I'm in a good position. I'm my own bar. I own my own barbershop. I cut hair at. That's like the best feeling in the world. After all these places I went through and everything I done, I was cutting hair, in basements and my mom's porch, my mom's kitchen, getting everything full of hair, but that's a long story. What I want to tell you guys is that anything that you guys want to do in life and you really, really dedicate yourself to, it will happen. You just got to really be patient. It takes years and years of dedication to be a doctor, you know, put it like that. So anything you do for a long time will reward you really good. You can't expect something that you started doing 3 months ago. You started cutting hair 3 months ago, and now you already expect a new car and all these beautiful things that barbers that have been cutting hair for a long time have. And you can't do that. When I started, I remember I was benching. I was sitting on the bench on Saturdays and Mondays and Tuesdays because I didn't have no customers when I first started at the barbershop. All my customers were pretty much on the weekends. It was always really busy. But since I was new, these guys were there already for years. When I started, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I was sitting down watching them cut, you know. And those are the things that a lot of barbers nowadays don't want to handle. And I understand it's hard. There's a lot of pressure. They're like, dude, I'm sitting down. Everyone else is cutting. And I'm sitting down without cutting not one person. You start feeling anxiety. Everyone's looking at you. You're just sitting there like, well, things are just, you know. But you have to go through those things when you're a rookie, and I would like to speak more about things that can educate people about being a good person and owning their own business one day. I would like to talk more about how I struggled and how everything came the other way around. Uh, Pretty much everything was horrible and then it went to good, and that's pretty much how things are. Every storm has a shiny day. And that's pretty much what happened to me. It was just terrible working for other people, getting scammed, doing this, doing that. They're taking all your money. And those are the things you go through when you're a rookie. It's all part of being new, you know. But it's a new me. It's Manny Styles, and I'm here to show you guys that this is gonna be a different podcast, different than everyone else. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I grew up at, there's a lot of people in our community that I pretty much would love to talk to. I would like to sit them right here and get you guys to know a little bit about what they do. A lot of barbers, a lot of people that own businesses around here. They I would like to bring them here. And yeah, I started with just a little bit of nothing. Just Chucky and Frankenstein, and you know but we're getting ready to close up here in a couple minutes. But we just want to let you guys know that this is a new podcast, Manny Styles edition. Manny Styles Life, Manny Styles Barbershop, Manny Styles Friends, Manny Styles, you know, something I can kick back to and do. Talk to you guys. I feel like it's about that time. 2 years into my barbershop. I just made the 2 year mark. It was March 28th. I had the keys. So, you know, it's been pretty amazing. And it's my first podcast. I don't expect a crazy amount of people watching me. I'm just pretty much testing waters. Uh, but I'm gonna put my all into this. I know I'm rough. I'm pretty new at it. I don't have any followers yet. But just like I did the barbershop, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna every Wednesday I'm gonna try to give you guys one podcast of 30 minutes talking about things that I need to speak to you guys about. Uh, but yeah, it's been great. It was a lot of headaches at first, but now I get to relax and enjoy the beautiful customers, the beautiful area. I grew up here my whole life, so just imagine cutting hair where you grew up at your whole life. You get to keep all them customers you grew up, with. You get to keep all them customers that you worked so hard to keep. You know how many times when I was growing up, I thought of moving somewhere else, and I'm so happy I didn't, because it's a lot of pressure. You feel like just boom leaving. You're like, dude, I have this talent and I can't do nothing with it. Let me go somewhere else and try to, since I'm not doing nothing here. And those are the thoughts that everyone gets. The other day, my boy Spider-Man was telling me the same thing. He goes, man, I want to go to another state and dance. And I'm like, bro, no, stay here, take that, because you gotta take the pain, and later on you will get rewarded. I want to speak to you guys about things like that, being strong, keeping faith, always believe in God, believe in beautiful things, and things will get better. um but yeah, Manny Styles Edition podcast. uh it's been a beautiful journey. Things been great. um I have a couple little things left. I would like to say that I'm very grateful about everything that God gave me. I would like to say thank you to all my friends, thank you to all my customers, thank you to my mom, thank you to all the people that were there for me when I started from the bottom, and that were still here with me now. You know, uh, I'm giving this a try. Probably not the best podcast, but it's my first one, and I'll get better at it. Thank you guys, and enjoy this podcast.